It is that time again. Yeah, here we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Varied Life. I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, American expat living here in Korea. Yeah, all of this is in Korea. So we're streaming to you live, and we've got a bunch of projects going on. We've got little cool little lights here, ding, and that's going to be an interesting little project that we got going on. So we got this. This here is for an upcoming project of a miniature carrying case, paint carrying case, miniature carrying case type of thing. And we're going to incorporate this little LED light that should be pretty cool. So this has got like an 1800 milliamp battery in it, rechargeable. So this will work out pretty good. And basically what I was doing is I wanted to check the tolerance, because we're going to have a little stand there, and this is going to go out from our box, but just to show that we have a couple of those, and we'll be able to shine our light, ding, like so. So doing some testing, we've got that going on. I've also done some testing on a box with a slide lid that goes into this thing, and yeah, I always say measure twice, print once. Yeah, that's the thing that you're supposed to do, because while it slides in, unfortunately, the items that were supposed to go into the holes on here were messed up, and yeah, they didn't work out well. So I'm reprinting that, and but again, this is just kind of a thing. We had a little bit of warping going on, but other than that, yeah, little failed print that we got there. We got some lights that we're going to be doing, and then I think I decided on the colors for my Tyranid that I want to do, because there was a couple of things. There's one, there's two. So with the Tyranid, I was thinking of doing something like this. So we could do like a green body with black scales, and we can see that there, and do some good stuff. We'll see how that goes. Or we can do something like this, which is kind of a pale body, still got the black and everything with green highlights. So it's going to be one of those two. So something, I haven't decided yet which one. Maybe you could put in the comment section down below which one you like. This one, now granted, this is going to be on a lava base, and that's what part of this is going to be. This isn't How to Paint the Dagger. I'm sorry, that's from, this is the one that we're going to do. Yeah, that's the Dagger. We'll give an update on the Dagger. Man, I'm just not with it today. And we'll make this a little bit smaller. We'll bring this over here. I'm just not awake yet. I mean, it's time to be awake, but I'm not hitting on all fours. Hey, we got George there. George says howdy, and he says the green looks nice. Which green? You talking about the green body? Because that looks pretty good. And then we got like the pale body, which I kind of like that. But we're going to do this on a lava base, so we're going to have some red coming up from the bottom. So I don't know, the red and green. Red would look good over the green, but then we could also get some red. I don't know. That would be interesting. The green would be good if you're talking about this one. And then that way, as the Tyranid is standing, it would be able to get some of the object source lighting from the lava base. That could look good with the green. Red and green, Christmas, right? You know, that could look good. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we got a few people in the mix, so welcome to The Varied Life. Again, I'm Steve, the hobby tech guy, retired here in Korea, so we're kind of doing that. And then George says the green body one. Oh, in case you're wondering, some people have asked me when we do the live stream, how come it seems like I'm a half step behind? That's because there's a delay. There's about a 20-second delay to when you write the comment and when I get it. And even in filming, because I can see myself filming on the computer, there's a delay between the live feed or the feed that I get from the camera that I'm watching now versus it going to YouTube and then being processed and then you get to see it. So if it seems a little disjointed, that's kind of why, because there's going to be some lag time when we do live videos. So with that, let's just head over to the desk and we'll start taking a look at, we'll take a look at the dagger there. We finished up the dagger. And this dagger turned out good. Let me set up a couple things here because I got to get my tablet on so that way we can see what's going on. We can have I get my password in there, and we got to get rid of that. And then we got to go like that, and now, like I said, we'll get a little bit of a delay. But this is the dagger. Look at how well that turned out. So we did do some rust on there, a little bit of detail work on there, and some distressing, as we can see, like on the blade and everything. Just so it's not so super squeaky clean. And then we did a white matte varnish. We did a matte varnish, not a white varnish, but a matte varnish over this, so this is good to go. So yeah, there it is. The Warhammer Dagger, that turned out really, really good. I'm definitely digging it. So we finished that, and this is going to be the Tyranid guy that we're going to be doing. So yeah, I'm thinking about the black armor plates and whether he's going to have a green body or a tan body. We'll see how that goes, but the green would look good with a lava base and the light coming up from the bottom. And I just so happen to have the next step in our lava base. So there that is. Let me see if I can get a little bit of light on this. So there's our lava base. And we did some primer on this. You can see that turned out pretty good. Now this is pretty good for a base. And what we did is we did some cork. We put a bunch of layers of cork on there, and then we did some texture. Where is that stuff? I don't know, it's somewhere on the desk. Oh, we get, here it is. It was a Vallejo texture material. I'm sorry for the thing is ripped off, but it's kind of like a spackle putty. And then we actually use spackle putty on this to, kind of add some other stuff on here. And then once we did that, then we ended up doing a matte lacquer, matte varnish on here to seal everything in. And then we painted it. Well, primed it, painted it, and yeah, that's what we got now is the black. So, what we'll end up doing, we kind of did a similar thing with this Tyranid. This is the very first Tyranid that I did, and we've got kind of a lava base, as you can see there. If we can get kind of zoom in on that. So kind of a little bit of a lava base thing. And I think this turned out pretty good. And yeah, so I like this. I don't know about all of the shiny. I did a high gloss varnish. I think next time I'll do the high gloss on the body, but for the plates I'll do like a matte, and then that way we'll get a little bit of a contrast on there. But I think that turned out so good. So yeah, and the base turned out pretty decent. We did some crackle on there. Get our crackle on. And now we're going to get to our base. Before we do that, George says I stream on Twitch and that chat latency is even worse. Oh, okay. He also says that the dagger turns out pretty good. And I did some painting on a dude last night. So we got this guy here. I was just kind of messing around and just kind of doing that. So I've got this guy. He's pretty much, I got to do a little bit more on him. So we've got him. And then I broke this guy. I broke off his standard. So this is supposed to go up there. But this is what this guy looks like. And he turned out pretty good so far. It's just, I got to fix that. So, yeah, that'll go up there and he'll get fixed, and yeah. A little bit of resin and UV curing will fix all that. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. I think it turned out good. I think the base will do well. So, eventually we'll get all that stuff fixed. And what we're going to end up doing now is we're going to go to our base. And I think what we're going to end up doing is we'll do a little bit of dry brushing. So with that, it would probably be good to get our dry brush thing, our little dry brush pad, if I can get it out from under all the stuff that we got. And we can get going on our base. So, get our little water thing going here. And little cheesy little paintbrush. And let's see, what are we going to need? I've got a bunch of paints here. I think I'm going to use regular paints. And we'll do our dry brush. Oh, but I will need, I forgot. I'll need my little silicone thing that we got going on here. Seriously. Some of this I need to, from last night, I need to clean some of these brushes because I didn't clean them last night, so I'll just kind of load this up if you'll forgive. That way we can kind of just set those. I don't think I used these, so I think I'm good on those. The purple turned out really good. George says he likes the purple. And he asked, did you figure out the file for the orc? I was printing out an orc and it wasn't working. I do need to go back and try to take it onto a Windows machine to see if I can fix the file with that auto fix thing, because they don't have that for Windows or for Mac. It's only on Windows, so I kind of put that off and we'll just do this for now. So hopefully we'll get to the orc and we'll check that out. We're gonna need a brush. I think we'll just use this here. And we'll get that a little, and then the color that I want to do on this, I've got so many paints I need to put back. So let me get, this is what happens when you don't clean, is you got stuff everywhere. So forgive me, but for the dry brushing, I think we're going to end up doing is we will get, and oh, we got one more we got to put away. I guess we'll put that there. So the other thing we end up doing for the dry brushing there's a couple ways that you could do it. And one of the ways is to end up and say, okay, well, we're going to dry brush this with like a white or like a gray. And the other one is kind of like, or like a titanium white. There's some different colors that you could end up doing. Some people end up doing some blue. If you do a couple of colors, you'll get more depth. So I think what we'll end up doing is, matter of fact, we will just go with titanium white, but what is another color we could end up doing? Do I have a gray? I've got a silver. That's kind of grayish. Your Teco Paints doesn't have gray. That silver is super shiny, so I don't want that. Let's just try with the titanium white, and the other thing we could end up doing, we could just add a little bit of maybe some blue. If I can, and we'll try that. We'll see what happens. Do I have aluminum color? That's kind of the silver here. So we'll just do, we'll do a couple different things. Ooh, I don't even think I've opened this yet. No, I haven't. Brand new. Ooh. That's a very phthalo blue. Okay. We'll see what happens when we can mix a little bit of this in there. And we'll just do that. We'll try with a little bit. And then we'll see what happens with the blue. So we can get a different color, and then we can go back with, that's almost like a, yeah, it's a nice color blue. So we could try something like that and see how this works. And look at our brush. We'll do a little bit of, little dab will do ya. And what we want is just to get enough. And we could just practice on the, I think that'll give a little bit of a, so you can see that's kind of bringing out the edges. Kind of gets a little bit of a different color there. Again, we're not going to go too crazy with this. So we can just get a few little details. So there we can end up saying how we got a little bit of color there. Oops. trying to look over my shoulder and see the camera feed. But we can see we got a little bit of color there. And then that'll end up being kind of, let's see if we can do a little bit darker. See how we might even throw in some silver, or maybe, I don't know. That's kind of wintry blue type. Let's see what happens when we do some silver. I know that'll lighten it up a bit. So, have I not even used the silver? Oh, this is the first time for silver. Oh, that's because I used the metallic silver on all the other times. So we'll see how this goes, and then we could add a little bit of a mix this in here. I'm just going off the seat of my pants. That doesn't really do much. Maybe we could do a tad bit of black to kind of darken that up a bit. Yeah, that might work. So you get kind of a gray. Of course, it's kind of a bluish gray. I don't know, I'm just kind of, don't be like, oh, I got to mix purple and blue and red and just whatever. I'm just kind of, I'm no color theorist. I'm just kind of doing this off the cuff and like saying, hey, let's just try this and see what comes off. So yeah, don't get too caught up in the details. Now, this will be some gray with a little bit of blue. Oh, get this. We'll see what this can end up doing. I mean, it's a very subtle difference. But should give us a little bit of a different color. And then again, there'll be a slight variation, but I think it'll create some depth. We'll see how it goes. I think that'll work. Like I said, I'm still learning how to paint, so we're just trying shit, see what happens. Okay, so we got a little bit of color in there. So we got kind of some white, we got kind of that little bluish tinge on there. And then the other thought is to go back, once we do the white and everything in the lava, we can go back with black and we can just do some spotting and stuff like that. So we get some good contrast on the base. But I think that turned out pretty good. So it's not like black, black. You can see some of the features, and I kind of wanted to go with a little bit of a lighter color because I think I might even bring in some inks to do with this. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure about that because we could spray some ink on here. And as far as like reds and stuff like that, and these lighter colors will kind of really make those inks pop as far as the colors. So, where is my... nice blue. Bob Ross used it a lot. Good old Bob Ross. Oh, there it is. I was looking for my wet wipes. I really got to clean my desk because it is quite the, it's collecting more and more junk. I need to empty the trash. I need to do all that stuff. So I'll just kind of clean this up a little bit. I got all kinds of paint on me. Imagine that. What are the odds? So I think that turned out pretty good. I don't know how it looks on camera. I mean, I think it looks okay, but I can see a little bit of different colors. And then, like I said, I think if we, with the whites, the lighter colors, when we go back and we put some of the brighter colors on there, like the reds and stuff like that, I think we'll end up with a pretty good, well, I'm hoping a pretty good. We'll see what happens. And I don't think I'm going to use the crackle on this one. So I think we will be good. Kind of a titanium blue. The other thing you could do is maybe even some purple. You could get some good contrast with the purple. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So we got that part of the base. And let's see what we can end up doing now. I think what we can end up doing is getting to the white. And especially in these valleys, we'll do that white. And I think that will be quite, that'll be the next step in the evolution of our lava base. And we'll see how that goes. So, and I still end up with told you I'm not really awake this morning, even though it is like 9 something in the morning. There we go. Maybe I should just wear black gloves. Maybe that's what I should do. That would look cool, right? See people painting, they got the black gloves on. It's like, ooh, he's wearing black gloves. He must know what he's doing. No, those are just smart people that don't want to get paint all over themselves. Alrighty, titanium white. I think we'll continue on and we'll do titanium white and continue with these Art Deco. George says, what is the fun in that? I know, right? What is the fun in that? So this, we've got our Deco white, and then we've got our matte white. I think the titanium white will be pretty good. And the thing about using army paints for bigger items, the problem is that these are really expensive. You're looking at $6, $7 an ounce, whereas you're looking at like 60, 70 cents an ounce for this. So you get, 2 fluid ounces, 60 milliliters. This is 17 milliliters, and the bottle isn't even full. So yeah, you can do the math if you're doing bigger models, or if you don't care about not using Army War Painter paints. These Art Deco paints turn out pretty good, and they don't dry out as bad. I like the bottles, so I just wish that I wonder if I could put these in dropper bottles. Ooh, that's an idea. So you have like a dropper bottle and fill up the dropper bottle. Ah, that's an idea. I think that is something that we might do. Seriously. Art Deco dropper bottles. I think it's a great idea. So that way I get more control. And if you used Citadel paints in the Citadel paint pots, kind of like with what you end up seeing here, these are like the worst paint bottles ever, because it's got this weird little cap, and then it's like, oh look, it's got this thing where it allows you to dip, and it's like, but the problem with this is that you can already see it here. There's gunk that gets on the inside, and it allows air into this. Let me see if I can get my little, and it dries up the paint, and it doesn't seal up. See, we got a bunch of dried paint in there, and it doesn't seal, and then next thing you know, you've got a bunch of junk, and then the air gets into your paint pot, and then it dries out your paint, and then they're expensive paints, so you got to buy more paints. And then the other thing is that if you tip this over, it will spill all of your paints. Whereas, I know I've said this before, where if I have like, here it is, I put these Citadel paints in these here, and then if I end up, boom, that, nothing spills out. So I highly recommend everybody switch out your Citadels with, put them into paint pots. Okay, enough of that. We'll switch to a smaller brush, and we will get on our white. So we're not gonna water this down or anything. We're just gonna go knee deep into the white. Just going all white because we want it in there thick. And then once this dries, then we'll be able, in the next video, we'll be able to go through and we will put our lava colors and everything, and it'll look good. At least that's what we're hoping for. So those people that are wondering, why would you put white? Because with those colors of lava, with like a yellow and orange and red and all that stuff, especially if the colors are kind of see-through-ish, this white background will really make those colors pop. So that's the reasoning behind that. If I just did it in black, the yellows and oranges and reds and so on and so forth would just end up being really muted, and it would take multiple layers or multiple coats. So in other words, basically what you're doing is you're putting a primer on there, you know, base coat. So, which is what we want. And if it's nice and thick, then those colors that we put on here will look so good. I'm kind of debating on whether I should do this with some airbrushing. And I might, especially to get the lighting effect that I want. Not only on this base, but I haven't done a lot of airbrushing, so I really need to do more airbrushing. But I've kind of wandered away from that because my airbrush thing is in the other room. And it's not as nice as what we got here. But I'm thinking about bringing it into here, but the problem with that is that it's got the compressor and it makes noise, and I don't know. Maybe it's just something I just got to do. But it does limit me in doing my airbrushing. Because the airbrush station, basically what I end up doing is just basically primer coats and stuff like that, priming base colors, kind of like black. I did the black on this. So, hey, we got Swedish Forge. He's dropping in, saying hi. Good to see you. Yeah, so we want to make sure that we got a good solid white on here. So we're just kind of slapping the white on here, real hard and heavy. Doing it hard, doing it heavy. Filling those cracks, if you know what I mean. Filling cracks is good, right? Taking a bunch of white stuff and filling the crack. That's what it's all about. I got a little bit of a dirty part there. A little black speck. You don't want black specks in your crack. I don't know. So am I going too far on that? I think so. Sorry, children. But these videos are not for children, so when you gotta pick and choose, and I never do these for children, which is kind of weird. I think they ought to have like a YouTube adult version or NC-17 or something like that. Have an adult YouTube. Not like OF YouTube, but It is pretty cold here in Korea, in case anybody's wondering. Yesterday high was like 20 or something, 17 or 20. It was cold. And then I went to the game store last night and I just kind of had some coffee, did some painting, chat with some people. We'll see, maybe we'll go back there today. We'll see how that goes. That was almost right in my estimation. I didn't use too much paint, not enough. Or just kind of, the other thing we'll end up doing is we'll just kind of put a little bit around the edges. A little bit. So as you can see there, we got it on the base, but we want to have it kind of come up on the edges too, so that we do some colors that those edges will catch, the white will catch those edges, and that'll give it a little bit of extra pop as well. But I'm not going to go all the way up. I just want to do a little bit. So I might need a tad bit more. But I think we're doing good. Tiny bit more. Of course, we'll have to let this dry and we'll do a second coat. This is why I'd like a dropper bottle for this stuff. Maybe I'll do that. I'll order some dropper bottles and we can just throw in the Arteco in there and it'll be good. We're good on that side. And I'll just do a little bit of so we're just kind of putting it on the edges, as you can see. I might even just kind of any areas that are kind of sticking out. Because that'll help the try to get that a little bit gradient in there a little bit. So we'll see how this goes. Just kind of run it up, especially on some areas that you think the light would catch. So I'll just try to get a little bit on there. What is the average drying time on this paint? I'm not sure. Because mostly what I've done is just like paint it and then I'll do a big stuff and then I'll just go do something else. So I haven't really timed it. Some people, what they end up doing is getting like a hair dryer, and so that way it dries faster. Which is something I might consider doing if I do more stuff like this. So, I think we're doing good here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of light on the subject. So there it is. Sorry for the washout, but that's what you're going to end up getting is the base there. So we got some color on the black. We can see a little hint of blue and stuff like that. And then once we do a second coat on where all this white is at, so it's really, really thick. So notice how like over here, I don't know if that's too washed out, but you can kind of see it's kind of dark over here. So I just need to go through and do a second coat on this, and yeah, it should be good. It should be good. Dun, dun, dun. George says, okay, I was wondering because my niece has really gotten into painting the stuff I print for her. Oh, okay, that's nice. That is cool. Of course, it's also going to depend on how thick it is and stuff like that, so. You know, some different types of aerials, but it's not too bad. That's for sure. Not too bad. So, yeah, I think what we got going is pretty good. I think that is a decent little start on our base. So that'll work out good. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry because I found that if I rush too much, I could do a hairdryer thing. My wife's got a hairdryer. I could try to dry this up real quick. That could be nice. The other thing we could end up doing is setting this aside, and I want to try this stuff. And this stuff ends up all-purpose adhesive. I saw this online on some videos, and people use this to make like slime, or like a monster's jaws, and you have like the drips or alien stuff like that. They use this type of glue to kind of get that. And so I was thinking about doing that with this guy here. If you could do like some threads off of his claws and just kind of wrap it around and see what we could end up doing with this. I'm not sure. I've never used it before. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's already coming out. Premature gluing. It happens as you get older. Sometimes it just comes out. But there's treatments for that, so that's kind of a good thing. So supposedly you can use this glue, and you saw how I guess we should try to practice on something. Do we have something to practice on? I don't really see anything that we could practice on. Oh no! He came off his base. I think he dropped and died somewhere. Oh well. Somewhere. But, no, that's not it. Okay, let's see. Some people have mixed this with, that's what I need to do. Some people mix this with like paint and then got like a toothpick and then kind of did it around the claws and stuff like that. Let me go get a cup. Of course, I got the wireless mic, so I can take you with me. And we're also doing another print. I don't know how well that's going to turn out. We'll see. It is a... should have ran the calibration, but I didn't. But we'll just let that run and see what happens. I'm doing a little box for if you travel and you have medication, like diabetic medication or something that requires a syringe, then the interesting thing is that making a little travel box with a little slide top on it. So I'm doing that and seeing how that works. So it's printing out, but it's not printing out as well as I liked. So, okay. So we have this. We could do, oh, you know what we want? Glistening blood. And we'll do our glue. That is probably way more than I need. Let's see how it's stringy. Like it won't stop stringing. I guess that's why people, whew, man, that is some fragrant glue, all-purpose adhesive. And then we'll mix up some glistening blood. We'll mix that, maybe we'll mix that. We'll get our little thing here. And we'll kind of see if we can't do this little thing. Kind of do it on the, you got the big talons and the little one there. We'll just kind of draw something, see if we can't get some to drip down and see if that'll work out. And then we can go back and then we can add the glistening blood, is what I've seen some other people do. So let's go ahead and we'll load up our thing here. We'll just kind of, oh yeah, look at that. Get a little bit. I'm wondering if we can't just have some just kind of fall like that. I don't know. Look at that. We can have it go all the way to the ground. Oh, that's going to be neat. And maybe, how's that going to dry? Will it work? And people go back and they add the blood in. Other people, I've seen it mix this together with the glistening blood. And oh, cool. That is kind of cool. Especially that. We'll see how this goes. Man, that just comes out so much. Such a big load. Wasn't expecting that. It's all over the place. That is going to be cool looking. We'll see if we can do some between his fingers and stuff. Then we could throw on some paint on there. That is going to look cool. And it dries fast. I'm kind of surprised. Interesting, interesting. Let's see if we can do a little bit more. Let's see. Let's just stick with that. I think we're good. This is really good. I'm liking this stuff. I definitely need to empty my trash. So let's take a look, and if you all can see this, we can see how it's got that especially up on there. Oh yeah, this is going to be up on there. Then throw on some blood once this dries. Oh, that is going to be beautiful. I don't know how long these will last, but that looks pretty good. I like that. Nice. Wunderbar, wunderbar. Alrighty. So we'll let that dry totally, and then we'll come back to that. So yeah. Oohoo, all-purpose adhesive from Germany. So heads up to Germany for that. George says, I'm thinking of actually printing something for myself. It is an original series Starship Enterprise. Shoot, go for it. That would be cool. No problem. Yeah, here's that base for that orc. And the orc didn't work out, but the base came out pretty good. Which reminds me, I need to check and see what that print looks like. Let's see, printing details. And I don't know. Let me go take a look at this real quick. We'll see if it's doing any good. It's doing okay. We'll see how it goes. I just picked a generic profile, one that I hadn't done any tuning or anything, but yeah, the Enterprise would be good. started looking at UV activated glowing paints, and the price on that stuff is unholy. Ooh. I'll take your word for it. I've never checked into those. But I imagine. Yeah, it's crazy. Paint is almost like hobby paint from like Warhammer, or I mean Army Painter and Citadel and stuff like that. The cost per ounce is crazy. So that is just, it's a little insane if you think about it. I think we'll do not that thick of a brush, this thick. Yeah, we'll do a little thicker this time. Yeah, I think I'll end up, I'll get some more dropper bottles. Because I can order them like this. This just has cork in it, which, I don't know. But get a dropper bottle, take their Arteco paint, and boom, fill it up with this, and then have dropper bottles. And yeah, it's a lot easier to control, and I think I will do that. I just need to count up the number of paints I have, which are a bunch, and go for it. We'll see how that goes. Alrighty. We still got some wet spots, but I think we can go through. It's okay. Wet spots are good. I don't mind them. Of course, we're talking about painting. You just add on another coat. Load it up. Spread some of this white goodness all over it. Oh yeah, it's looking good. Put it on this lava-based face. White on the face. Really get that socked in there. And I think we might have to do a third coat. We'll see. So that's looking a lot better. Yeah, I might need one more. Because I really want to get this like solid white. I don't want to see any black or dark hue coming through the white. I really want to coat this great. Hard and heavy, that's what we want. So yeah, I think this will work. I think this will work. So it's turning out quite well. Spent a lot of time printing for everyone else, says George. It would be nice to print something for me. Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to print stuff for other people, and, you know, that's always fun. But, yeah, do something. You got to do something for you. Definitely got to do something for you. You got to prioritize some stuff. You got to do some things that make you happy. Treat yourself. And I think as men, we don't, at least in my generation, I can't believe I'm saying that. In my generation. Yeah, we weren't really taught to take care of ourselves. We were always on the last priority because, you know, we care for the family, we have a job, we bring in the money, you know, we're the foundation of the family, and everything is on our shoulders. And so we put our well-being off, our mental health off, and we just kind of knuckle down and try to suck it up. And that only works so far. So yeah, find something to do for you. That is definitely a good thing. So, got to do something for you. This little silicone soap holder thing that I end up using. Alrighty, we're going to go back to this guy, and we're going to put on some of the glistening blood that we got. I'm really looking forward to getting the pegboard on the wall. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Getting a whole pegboard thing that'll go, I think it's even wider than this table. And then I'll have more storage space. I can do racks, you know, do my own little racks of paint racks and stuff like that. I won't have to use this little, you know, cheesy stuff here. We can get it looking really nice. So that's going to be coming in. I'm looking forward to that. Dun, 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 dun. So, our glistening blood from Army Painter. This stuff is so good. Stop blowing bubbles, just give me the paint. We'll see if we can do a little bit of oh yeah. Still, it's very, very delicate. Oh, that is nice. I like that. Glistening blood. This is awesome. Oh, seriously? I was just trying to. Oh yeah, this is nice. This is good. This is good. This stuff is amazing. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice. So good. Oh, wonderful. Oh yeah, this is it. I love that glue. Especially for the blood. Oh, that is so good. Oh yeah, that is so good. That comes out awesome, guys. Love it. That is good. Love the little detail. And we'll just put a little bit of blood up there. On a little rhino horn thing that we got going on. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. I think we're good. Wunderbar. Multiviewing, watching opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics. Adventive, hey, welcome to the show. Really? I didn't know that was on. To check that out and see what they got going on. Olympics are good. So yeah, let's make sure we get this cleaned up. Let that soak. I'm gonna get some golden sable brushes, but I think I got some. Yeah, golden maple, that's it. So I picked up some of these, and I'm gonna be very careful with these because these are a little expensive. But I'm gonna try these, and I just ordered another set so that when I go and paint, I can use those. It's kind of like a 4 or 5 paint set, or six brushes in a set. Wow. This came out good. Let me see if we can do some justice to this thing. So you can see that, the blood on there. And it goes all the way down, and then that one there. Kind of see it there. Look at that. Oh, that glue is fantastic. You can see it there on his. I definitely don't want to drop him. Yeah, that turned out fantastic. I am so digging that. I think I like the Tyranids because of the glue. The glue and the gore. Man, that turned out great. Oh, throw a like in the video if you like how that turned out. Wow. Nice. Let me see. Then what I'll do. I wonder if I can get a decent picture out of that. I don't really have a. Oh, I do have a background. I could do like this. Oh, see if we can throw something back there. See if we can't get a. Decent picture. Oh, I need some more light. Light. Let's see, can I? And of course my light that recharges, I didn't charge up again. Oh, but I have this. This can work. And then we can do a little bit of a close-up. Yeah, that turned out really good. Get a good angle for this. Okay. And then what we can end up doing, let's go back. And we can go back to the table, the studio desk. The studio desk, and we'll see if we can throw these pictures up here. Let me get through. And I'll do some adjustments. Updated the phone and it ends up it's like slow as molasses. I think it is the planned obsolescence made by Apple. Of course, they got in trouble for that before too. You got to remember that. Okay, now, so we got all those. Now we'll go to pictures, we'll go to select, and I'll do, what? Is that all the pictures I got? second. What the heck is going on? One, two, three, four. So I got 4 of them. I guess I do get 4. Select 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll send these to myself. Hopefully the airdrop. Hold your fingers, cross them. Sacrifice chicken, whatever we're going to do, and we will see if we can get these pictures and show you what we've been doing. This glue thing, that glue is awesome. Awesome, awesome. So let's take a look at the first picture, and boom. Look at that, those little strands of glue. Isn't that incredible? Love it. See if we can do another one. It's kind of the same. Let's see if we can we zoom in? Let me do this. I think we can crop this a little bit. And then we can make this a little bit bigger to check out the, look at that glue. Look at that. That looks good. Oh, that looks good. Oh. And we'll do a little bit of cropping here. So hang with me. That was my very first Tyranid. And that UHU glue is the bomb. Let's make it a little bit smaller. I want it to fit the whole thing in here. I think that's close enough for government work. That glue is awesome. Oh, I love that stuff. I love that stuff. That is so nice. Tyler talks to you. Welcome to the stream. He says, looks cool. Yeah, I think so. I think it turned out really good. And then we've got one more. I think it's kind of the same pick. Basically the same. But man, that turned out good. Oh, I'm happy. Let's see if we can just do this. Kind of put that up there. Boom. Nice, nice. Nedventive says, I'm scared. As it should be. They're Tyranids. They are problems that need to be purged from the Imperium. So yeah. Oh, I'm definitely liking how that turned out. That makes me want to get a bunch of Tyranids and just paint them up and go to town. Which we are going to be doing the Tyranids. So we've got this guy. He's going to be bigger. And I'm kind of debating on whether to do, I want to do black for his scales and the armor. And so we've got our choice of like this one here. Oh, hold on a second. I know it looks cool, but he's got to go away. I'm either going to do, I definitely settled on black for the bone armor, I guess you could call it. So it really depends if I'm going to do like the green body. Now remember, this is going to go on a lava base, or I'm going to do this one here, where it's got kind of a pale body. So which one do you think would look better with red kind of coming up from the base? I'm kind of wondering on which one. I don't know, the green looks pretty good. The green looks pretty decent. And then with the red coming up from the bottom, you could get some object source lighting on that, and that would look pretty cool. So you have, like 3 colors, black, red, and green. With this one, you still have the black, red, or black and green, but then you also have like the pale body. So, yeah, I don't know. I know. Second would be more beautiful. So this one here, I mean, whoever did this, it did a great job. I like that. Pale body, and with the like red and orange coming up from the bottom, that would really show up kind of good on the legs and stuff like that. But then we would also get a good contrast with like the green body with red coming up. They would both be good. But at least we got the scales. We know the scales and the armor are going to be black. It just kind of depended on the body. Are we going to do green or are we going to do pale? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Tyler Talk says, kind of reminds me of the Necrons in the first pick. Yeah, it does. The second would be more beautiful. Yeah, the bigger guy. The big Tyranid guy. Kind of similar to what we got with this guy. Try the contrast. He says, you seem more hyped for the green. I don't know, honestly. I mean, the green would be good. Because, I don't know, maybe it's because it's not the same character. But I mean, the green could be good with the black. And then you just have to do some edge highlighting with like gray, some white on the armor plates. So you got that little bit of detail work on the scales and stuff like that, or the armor plates. So you got some green and yellows. I mean, that looks good. But then again, that is rocking as well. I mean, that is beautiful work. I got to admit. I like the green. I'm just wondering how the red would pop up from the lava. You know what I mean? And how that would show up on the pale body. Versus the green, there would be more contrast. It would pop more between the green and the red coming up from the lava base. But I don't know. We'll have to decide and figure out what we want to do with that. But yeah, we might go with green, but then I keep looking at the big guy. And then the big guy, of course, he's got like the recesses and stuff kind of like in there. So you kind of got like some pinks and some reds in there. So you got that going on. So you get a little bit of, so that could work. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, whichever color we do, of course, we're going to be using some of that Uhu adhesive that we got from Germany, and that makes that good stringing. That is great. I tried doing that with super glue, and it didn't work out real well. I tried using clear UV resin from Green Stuff World and trying to like do a string and then cure it with the UV light. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. It's just too liquidy, and I wasn't able to get like good drops or anything, which it would be nice if I could do that, but it's just too runny. So with this glue, man, that looks really good. That looks really good. Just got to handle it gently because those strings are very, very thin, especially the one going from the big talons down to the base. I've got two of those, and they're really, really, you could like blow, and then, I mean, everybody likes to blow, but you could blow hard, and yeah, that would break it. It would be over. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so that's what we got going on. Last little reveal of the Warhammer Dagger. So for those of you who didn't show up, I've been working on a Warhammer Dagger. And we can see that there. Look at that. Got a little bit of detailing in there. We got some different colors. Yeah, we got a little bit of rust action. We got some brown. Yeah, this turned out great. Great. Look at that. Yeah, dirty down rust, we did some of that. Did some browns, bronze, silvers. Yeah, this is, oh, yes. This is a pig sticker. Yeah. Fun, fun, fun. So anyway, we finished that up. That's all lacquered up. So I can go play around with that. So when I go to the game painting store, they've got a place locally here in Korea I can walk to. It's maybe 10 minutes away. They've got Warhammer stuff, MTG. They got a bunch of other game stuff. And with the Warhammer stuff, that pointer, that'll be pretty cool. I think they'll like that. We'll see how it goes. And then the other project that we got going on, of course, that is on the pile of shame is the Warhammer Omniscient Axe. That's been waiting patiently. That's going to be a bigger project, but it is big. It is big. I mean, this is a little big, and you can see what we got there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is going to turn out pretty good. So, yeah, we're just doing some filler, and you can see, man, this came out great. We still got a few pieces to put on there. But yeah, this is going to be awesome as well. So yeah, we're going to have the pointer, we'll have the axe, and it should be fun. That will end up going on somewhere on the wall here, maybe. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, so that's what we got going on. The other thing we're doing is we are printing out our syringe box. So we're doing that. Let me see if I can bring up the details on that and see where that's at. It's got about 3 hours and 11 minutes left. And of course now it's not working. Quality print is very problematic at times. Let me see if I can bring up the little quality cloud and see if we can take a look at what is printing. See if we can check this out. Is it going to come up? Yes, it is. So we'll do a little desktop thing and boom! So there it is. So this is a syringe box that we're doing. It'll hold, like if you have insulin or little vials of medication that you need syringes. It'll be kind of like a travel case type of thing. It'll have a slide-in lid. So we're just checking out to see how well this will work out. And if it does, maybe I'll post it on my Creality Cloud. So for those of you who are wondering, here is this, and we've got a number of prints. I got a paint handle, acrylic paint pen, rotating paint rack, put the whole thing on a Lazy Susan, and then some other things, that we got going on that I made it in Tinkercad. Yeah, so paintbrush holders. I'm not a super CAD guy, but yeah, that's what we got going on. So let me put that in the description box. And all of those things on there are free. So free STL files from The Varied Life. So that is in the description box for you. Comment section, I should say, comments. And so if you want to do that, again, it's all made with Tinkercad, so it's not like professional. It's, I'm kind of the paper and crayon guy, so Tinkercad is kind of my speed. Even some parts of Tinkercad are kind of beyond me. So anyway, that's what we got going on with the Varied Life here. We did the dagger, we did that. We've been working on the lava base. We'll come back and we'll do another video where we start adding colors into the lava base. And hopefully we can get that done, and then we can make a decision on what color scheme we're going to end up doing the Tyranid guy, the bigger one. And then we'll put them on the lava base, and hopefully it'll turn out looking cool. You know, hey, give it a shot. If you haven't tried doing painting miniatures or models, I'm into 3D printing, resin printing, FDM printing, stuff like that. It is a cool hobby to do. And if you're kind of hesitant, just jump in. You know, watch some YouTube videos, try 1 or 2 different things, and start. You know, this was my very first Warhammer guy. And yeah, nothing crazy, just kind of grimdark. Sorry about the lack of focus. But yeah, that was my very first one. And it turned out pretty good. And it's like, hey, everybody's got a starting point, and you're all on your own journey. So don't worry about people's models who look like, you know, they were painted inside the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo. You have a starting place, pick 1 or 2 different things that you want to try, get good at that, and then move on to the next little thing. And then work on, you know, thinning your paints, and work on doing some gradient techniques or slap chop. The speed paints are excellent. That you get your return on investment with speed paints with a zenithal primed mini or model is just great. And it doesn't require a ton of knowledge as if you had like just a regular painter and trying to blend paints and all that stuff. Yeah, the speed paints 2.0 are really, really good. So if you're looking to do some stuff and not have such a huge learning curve, speed paints are the way to go. George says we should look at some StarCraft models. You might like them. StarCraft. Let's take a look and see what StarCraft. STL. StarCraft models. Let's take a look at some images and we'll see what we get here. Ooh, look at that. So we can kind of see. So it's kind of Warhammer-esque. Oh, look at that. Okay. Alrighty, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it's kind of futuristic battle. Ooh, look at that guy. Nice. Ooh. StarCraft 3D models. Okay, I'm feeling it. Definitely. Good. Yeah, that could be some good stuff there, definitely. Ooh, look at that guy. Oh, nice. So I'm assuming StarCraft is a game. But even if it's not, it's got some cool looking models. Kind of Warhammer-esque. But that's cool. Nice. I like those. Not bad. Not bad at all. StarCraft. StarCraft game? Is that what it is? Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah, StarCraft. Well, that was way back? I think late 90s, early something. I don't know. So it's a video game. But I guess they got a tabletop miniature game. Ah, so they do have it. Let's look at this. Sure. Select the country you're from. Okay. We'll just do that. Alrighty. Interesting. About the game, that's what I want to know. Interstellar Wars, 3 powerful races, Terrans, Psi-powered Protoss, and hive-minded Zerg, which I guess the Zerg are kind of like the Tyranids. Okay. Let's see what they got in their store. No products? What? How can there be no products? I don't know. How is that possible? Let's see. Downloads? What can we download? Promo manual, newsletter from Blizzard. Okay. Alrighty. Tabletop miniature game at whatever, 20 Spiel Essen. Blizzard and Archon Studio are teaming up. Alrighty. So they're looking to get into the mix of tabletop gaming. The other game I'm interested in is One Page Rules. I don't know, the Warhammer, I was watching some guys play Warhammer, and holy crow, tons of rules. It takes a lot of brain cells to do Warhammer, apparently, and I don't know if I'm up for all that. Like I said, I'm the crayon color paper guy. I'm not a spoon. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so I'm kind of like a spork, maybe a sharpened spork. But man, those Warhammer people, crazy amounts of rules. I don't know. So that's why kind of the one-page rules kind of appeals to me. But then there's also one that is Blackout, a game called Blackout. But I don't know. Blackout. Wonder if I can find that. Dun, 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 dun. BLK out game. BLK out game. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So somebody recommended this, sent me an email and said, hey, check this out. And it's kind of like ultra tactical sci-fi tabletop war game. But they don't have as big of armies as like Warhammer or some other games. It's more, I would say it's more like a squad-based type of game. So they got their little minis there, set in the future. But we can see we got some good characters, got some bigger stuff as well. And this is the picture I saw on social media, was this one here. And I was kind of like, ooh, army, blow stuff up. So, yeah, some interesting little characters that they got going on there, which kind of appealed to me. And it's smaller. It's a smaller style game. And then a 2-player starter kit, 120 bucks. That's not bad. It's cheaper than Warhammer. Good Lord, some of that Warhammer stuff is insane. The starter kits I saw at the store here in Korea was like $165-ish, somewhere around there. So what do you end up getting here? 2 complete forces, 15 models, unit cards, 4 sheets, rule book, dice. And then, so yeah, basically you're kind of looking at a squad, maybe a squad plus of guys. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then kind of like a mech unit type of dude. 2, 4, 6, and a mech dude. Yeah. Interesting. One-piece resin, cast resin. What is the difference? What is cast resin? One-piece resin and cast resin. I don't know. I'll have to look at the fact and see what happens. As far as highly tuned and detailed, pretty good, not bad. I don't know, we'll see. So many different things to try, but nobody plays this here in Korea, so that's something to take into consideration. And nobody plays one-page rules here, as far as I know. They do the Warhammer, they do a lot. There's a ton of people that do Magic the Gathering. I'm not into that at all. Just out of my generational experience, and I just cards and throwing them down. I just don't. I don't know. If I want to play cards, I'll play hearts or spades or something like that. That's fine. If I don't dig it, that's fine. But other people dig it, and that's cool. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Eventually we'll get into some other stuff, but we'll definitely continue printing and painting miniatures. So we'll be doing that. I also found out they have some painting competitions that go on. So maybe I'll enter in some of that stuff and see what I can do. Of course, I'll have to do a lot of work and a lot of details and try to do some really cool stuff and enter in one of the competitions. I guess they got a couple a year or something like that, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, good stuff. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. If you could all do me a favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell, that would really help me out. That would be the best thing that you could do for me. For those people that are interested, if you want to contact me, you can do so by clicking this. There's an email there for me. I'm always available. Yeah, give me 1 or 2 days to answer. And then show me what you're doing, maybe some games or stuff that you do that I might be interested in. Different hobbies, tricks, tips, playlists, videos, something to make me a better 3D printing, miniature painting model hobbyist type of person who is an expat here in Korea, retired. I've got some time, but I'm really busy. It's amazing how I'm retired, but I'm really busy. So there's that. A bunch of people over here bought me coffee. There's a link in the description box. But like I ended up saying, the very best thing that you could do, the very best thing, this would be like Christmas, birthday, anniversary, Valentine's, all rolled into one, is if you could like and subscribe to the channel. That would be the best thing that you could do. Anyway, with that, we're going to go ahead because it's the weekend here in Korea, so that means it's Friday in the United States. So the weekend is coming, if it's not there already, and hopefully you'll have a good one, and we will see you all on the next video. Swedish Ford says, yeah, have a good day, and everybody else have a good day as well. So hopefully we'll see you on the next video. We'll do some more cool stuff. We'll finish up the lava base, maybe not finish. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. George says, have a good one, everybody. And we'll end with that. All right. That's it. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Peace.